Hello my friends, welcome back. Hope you're well. And in this video, I'm in Luminar Neo's new fall upgrade, which you should have by now. If not, please update your app. And of course, light depth is, in my opinion, the most prominent new feature. It's certainly the one I'll be using the most and one that I can't seem to shut up about, frankly. It's just so useful and so incredible. But there is some nuance to it. And there's some things that I think you want and or need to know in terms of how to get the most out of it. So this is a deep dive showing you all the kind of nuances and ins and outs of how to get the most out of this tool and how it works. Not just the obvious stuff, but some of the deeper stuff. Let's get into it. I've got this landscape here and I've done nothing to it. It's a raw file. I'm just going to go into develop raw and hit auto adjust, and it auto adjusts. It does a great job. So before and after, totally cool, and it looks great. And I'm just going to jump into light depth, and that's where we're going to spend the rest of this video. So the key thing with light depth, of course, is that it creates a depth mask around light. But as you can see from the screen here, there's other components to it. I've talked about this in my previous videos, but I want to dive into each of these now that we have the release copy and it's no longer in beta. So I think the most obvious thing is you start by dragging the amount slider. Now, what is amount? Amount, of course, is how much of the effect is being applied. What's the effect? Light. It's you're applying light, and where you're applying the light is in the area that's in white in this depth mask, which you have the ability to move around the photo. You also can stretch this area to expand or contract it if you want to define more broadly or more precisely the area where that light adjustment is going to get applied. So what I generally do is I go to about 50, which is kind of a lot, but I generally go to 50, get my settings, play around, do all the stuff that I want to do, and then come back and adjust the amount. So that's kind of how I normally do it. Now, in this particular example, what I want to do is I'm going to focus on kind of that mountaintop there that's already being hit by sunlight and just give it a little bit more. And again, I'm at 50 partly because it's easier for me to see, but also partly because it's easier for you to see. Every photo is different. You may or may not want to go that high. But here's the first thing I want to point out. The first thing is there's a lot more than just that changing, and that's because there's this advanced settings section, which actually starts closed. I leave it open effectively, but it defaults to brightness near and brightness far, both being at -50. So it's darkening the near and the far area. Well, you may ask, well, how do I know what's near and what's far? Well, near and far are the things that are not in the depth mask. So I'm going to back up here and talk about this depth mask. So the first thing to know about this depth mask is that because it's a depth mask, it's a 2D rendering of a 3D thing, right? The light is moving effectively in a 3D manner through the photo from foreground to background, right? Or to put it in the terms in the advanced settings, from near to far. And so this depth mask is, the way it operates is if you pull this down, you're pulling it toward you, which is near, and the further you push it up, that's far, right? And you can cover lots of different parts of the photo by doing so. And as I said already, you grab these handles and you can collapse or expand the zone. Now, that helps you define near and far. So near is anything in black kind of below your masked area, and far is anything in black kind of above in this little graphic here, above your masked area. So the far area here is going to effectively be the sky, and the near area is going to be the mountains here, not including that mountaintop, and then a lot of this area here, because that's the stuff that's in black in the bottom of this representation area, this kind of mask overlay looking section. So keep that in mind. That is how you define what's near and far. Now, the other thing that comes into play here is softness, because softness is basically the gradient edge. If you've been here before and have seen my masking videos, I'm always yapping about a gradient edge on masks because I think it's incredibly important 99% of the time. There are times when maybe you really want a hard edge. I generally do not, especially in landscapes and cityscapes. I don't really want a hard edge. Now, the softness is creating that softer edge, right? The more softness you'll get, you'll notice that this graphical representation of the mask is kind of getting fuzzy along the edges, whereas when I'm at softness 0, it's a hard edge, so it's an abrupt change. So I tend to drag this 25 or 30. I'm getting a little bit of a blend here because I want it to transition smoothly from the area that's lit up to the areas that are not lit up. And that's what that softness slider does. It's a gradient edge. And again, I think that's important in your mask. Now, the other thing that's important is temperature. And this is a warmth slider that's applying to your masked area. And so if I take this masked area and drag it to 100 on warmth, that area, and just that area, is getting warmer. And it's more visible if I go to coolness, or the opposite of warmth, right? Coolness. So I make it cooler. -100, it gets very blue. That looks terrible. This is not an edit. This is just a visual, a good visual, because it looks so bad, but it stands out, and that's helpful. So this warmth is applying a coolness, because I'm -100, to the area that's in the mask. And so now, if I expand the mask, you'll see the blue expands. If I contract the mask, the blue contracts. Also, going along with that, if I drag this up or deeper to go further into the photo, because it's a depth mask, the blue is changing. This actually makes it way easier to see than just light. And if I drag it down on this graph or towards me or near, I'm pulling that blue towards me, right? So that's a really good way to see what's going on. And then, of course, you can expand or contract the same. If you come this way, you're going to get more of that foreground and less of that sky, right? So something like that. And you can adjust softness to make a harder edge. So you have all these variables that come into play when you're playing or adjusting the depth mask. But here's the other thing that's really important is the amount slider is also a governor for this temperature slider. And so if I'm at -100 on warmth, you might think that's as cool as it gets. But actually, if I go to 100, I'm adding even more of that. Now here, I'm going to move these back to 0 so that you don't see any other impacts on the photo, because that near and far brightness defaults to -50. So advanced settings, we're going to leave those alone for now, leave everything at 0. But this amount slider impacts not just the amount of light, but also the amount of temperature that's going into the area that you've created the depth mask for. So as I pull this down, I'm getting really bright because I'm at 100 and really cold because I'm at -100. So just keep that in mind. The amount slider governs not just the light going in the mask, but also the temperature, the warmth, right? Or the coolness in this case. So that's super important. And of course, you don't want to do 100 and you don't want to do a -100 on warmth. You want to play with those. Every photo is going to be a little bit different. But in this photo, maybe I want a little bit of warmth there, and maybe I want it to be like a 20. And instead of a -100, maybe I want a 5 or 10 or 15, whatever it is. And so if I just show you the before and after, I've added a little bit of light and a little bit of warmth, and maybe I soften up the edge of the mask to blend it together, and I got a nice result, right? Before and after. And that has taken away the default settings of brightness near and brightness far going to -50. I actually like that it defaults to that, but there are some situations where you've got the light already fixed with other tools, or you don't need it, in which case you can just set that to 0. So just keep all that in mind, that the amount slider governs not just the amount of light in the mask, the depth mask that you create, but also the amount of that temperature change that's going into that area. But here's where it gets interesting. So I'm resetting everything to 0. I'm going to go ahead and drag this back to 50 because it's a good starting point. I'm going to go ahead and create a little bit of a tight mask here, and I'm going to put it on that mountaintop, and I'm going to make it a little bit tighter, maybe something like that. So it's pretty much along that edge of the mountain there with a little bit going into the sky. Maybe I'll give it a tiny bit of softness. Brightness near and far default to -50, and I'm going to put those at 0 so I can demo this as well. Okay, there you go. So there's my mask. 50 overall amount, a little bit of softening, but that's light only, no temperature. Remember, this upper section is applying just to your mask, and that's the other delineation. The advanced settings gets into near and far. Near, remember, is the area below here in black, and far is the area above here in black. So that's how you define what's near and far. So currently, I'm just hitting that one area before and after. But like I said, this is where it gets interesting, and this is something you really want to be aware of. The brightness near, as I said, is governed based on the mask, but it's also governed by the amount slider. So that amount slider of 50 is also going to govern how much brightness near I'm going to get and how much coolness near. I'm going to go -100 on the warmth here as well. So I went -100 on near brightness and near warmth, so really cold and really dark in that area, which is this section below my mask. But the 50 means I'm only getting 50% of that negative 100. So keep in mind, because the amount slider governs the advanced settings, in addition to the light and the warmth in the mask, it's also governing how much of the brightness near and warmth near that's happening in the near area. So because I went to negative 100 and I'm at a positive 100 of the amount, I'm getting the full effect of everything. Whereas if I take this to like 50 or so, you can see that even though I'm at brightness near of negative 100 and warmth near of negative 100, I'm not getting 100% of that darkening and coolness in that foreground area because this amount slider is at 50. So I can take that down even less, or I can make it really high. Just keep in mind, that's a super important thing with the amount slider, is it's governing your brightness near and your warmth near, and then you guessed it, it's also doing the same thing for far. So far being the area above your mask in this depth mask, far area, let's say I want to go really bright. Hey, I brighten the sky, great. And let's say I warmed up the sky, great. I warmed up the sky, but I'm at 50, so it's not getting the full effect. If I go to 100, it does. Again, that looks terrible, but visually, it's really easy to see. And that's all I'm trying to do in this video, is show you what it looks like. Let's say instead I go dark 100 and warm or cool negative 100. Then at 100 here, I'm getting 100% of that across the sky. Again, it looks terrible, but visually you can see it really well. So what I might want to do is actually cool off the sky a little bit. So even though I'm at brightness negative 100 and warmth negative 100, the amount of that coolness and darkening that's going in the sky is governed by this 15. So again, super important stuff to keep in mind. And what I might do is actually go a little bit darker, like maybe a negative 30, but maybe a little bit warmer, like maybe a positive 10 or 15, something like that. And the overall amount being 15 helps control, even if I kind of overdo it with some of these sliders, I control the total amount up here. So just keep in mind, this amount slider impacts not just the amount of light and the temperature that's going into your masked area, but it also controls the same for the amount that's going in your far and near that are outside your masked area. That's a really big important thing. And in this case, a light adjustment is going to give you the ability to go in and just have a nice little impact on your photo. Now, what you may find is that sometimes you need to use this tool 2 or 3 times because of what I just said. Because this 15 governs everything, you might want to come in and say, hey, I really want brightness near and brightness far to get a little bit more heavy-handed work than my actual depth mask. And so in which case, you might do one instance of the light depth for the masked area, and then maybe come back and do a different one for near or far, or near and far together. Something to think about. And again, every photo is different, but I wanted to bring that to your attention because as I continue to play with this and refine how I'm using it in my workflow, I'm finding that keeping in mind the amount slider governs everything, not just the amount of light. Super important, super useful. Hope that tip goes a long way into helping you get the most out of this really powerful and incredible tool. I'm sure you're loving it as much as I am, and I've been getting a lot of comments on my previous videos about it and some emails and things like that. But I wanted to share this deep dive because I think it's a super important thing to understand about how this tool works. Hope it helps, my friends. If you haven't yet checked out their Black Friday sale, there's a link down below. I'll be back soon with more videos. Thanks for watching. You guys take care, and until next time, adios.